Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling?
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me?
They say democracy is dead. That's not metaphor. It's a diagnosis. We still call this a republic. We still chant liberty. But what if that's just branding? Because right now, free speech is under siege. Disagreement is dangerous. And powerful people are gaslighting us, insisting nothing is happening, even when bodies erupt in the night. Welcome to the new normal, where dissent is criminal and truth is downgraded to rumor. Once in America, speech meant speech. You said something bold, people argued back, sometimes you lost influence, but you didn't disappear. But now, the halls of power are telling you your voice is optional, your silence preferred. The president says critics are enemies. Media anchors warn that calling out abuses is alarmism. Commentators insist you're just too edgy, too partisan, or too dramatic. Meanwhile, real consequences follow real dissent. If you criticize the powerful, you might find yourself under investigation, smeared, defamed, or worse. This isn't just cancel culture, it's coercion. A message: speak softly or speak not at all. Let me be clear, violence is not metaphor. In June 2025, Melissa Hortman, longtime Democratic Speaker of the Minnesota House, and her husband were shot dead inside their home. Their assassin disguised himself as law enforcement. Their deaths were labeled a politically motivated attack. In the same rampage, State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were shot and seriously wounded. Authorities found in the suspect's possession a list of 70 potential political targets. Then there's Judge Diane Goodstein. Her home, an elevated waterfront residence, burst into flames while her family scrambled to escape. She had recently blocked a federal demand for voter data, a move that drew criticism from top officials. Investigators say they've found no definitive evidence that the blaze was intentional. But the timing, the threats, the context, this is not a simple accident. We may not yet prove every violent act was political, but the pattern is unmistakable. When public servants dissent, their homes burn. When they resist, they die. And the president will not say a thing. This is not random crime. This is asymmetric war. And what do we hear from the megaphones of power? This is normal. You're overreacting. These are isolated incidents. America is just messy. Don't be dramatic. The same voices that cheered when dissent was quiet are outraged when it speaks up. You see it everywhere, in newsrooms, on cable panels, in op-eds. The message is consistent. We're not in a slide toward autocracy. You're hysterical. You're paranoid. You're exaggerating. But that's exactly what you tell a frog before you boil it alive. Everything's fine, buddy. Don't worry. The water edges higher. The beast doesn't struggle until it's too late. And that's the point. Because once the tolerance is gone, once you accept that disagreement is dangerous, you've handed over the keys. This descent didn't happen overnight, but it didn't require tanks either. Concentration of power. The executive branch reaches deeper, intervenes more, claims gaps everywhere. Enabling legal tools, national security, emergency authority, executive orders, all phrases that erode checks and balances. Media complicity. Mainstream outlets echo official talking points, warn against suspicion, and call critics conspiracy theorists. Weapons of intimidation, threats, surveillance, legal harassment create a climate of fear. Normalization of violence. Saying, "I hope someone goes after them," becomes acceptable in political discourse. Erosion of accountability. Investigations stall. Insiders get pardons. Prosecutions disproportionately target dissidents. Combine all that, and you produce what looks like democracy, but functions like a cage. Because here's what happens when democracy dies slowly. People stop speaking truth, they self-censor. Institutions drift, courts become pliable, and legislatures become theater. Fear becomes the default. Not everyone dies, but many shrink. The narrative becomes nothing is happening, which is exactly the narrative of submission. When you realize the frog didn't jump, but he was cooked, you're already inside the pot. We can't pretend this is paranoia. This is now our daily calculus. Is it safe to speak? Will my dissent cost my job, my reputation, maybe my life? If we let the quiet period persist, we'll wake up in a country where speaking is disloyalty and questioning is sedition. No, democracy is not dead just yet, but in this moment, it's being suffocated. And the only antidote is to speak while we still can. Because if not now, when? If we don't demand accountability while they deny the cracks, we'll find ourselves in a hell of their own design, too broken to leave, too afraid to fight. Wake the hell up. The pot is already boiling.
You've just watched one of my videos, but did you know there's an entire Antoinetteverse? On my namesake YouTube channel, I dive into current events and share my critical commentary. Over on Instagram, you can keep up with my life as a writer and educational specialist. On the Write Life blog, I explore how reading, writing, and emotional expression help us to grow. And on my Substack, I publish personal essays and sometimes share sneak peeks from my upcoming book. Wherever you join me, thank you for being here. And I'll see you in the next one.